Well, can I ask Marie and Trevor also to join us? And because there may be one or two things which you've thought about and would like to ask of them in the course of the next 20 minutes or so, 40 minutes. Well, we've got 35 minutes if we need it, but drinks are ready from about 5:30. So, Consul General, can I just thank you very much indeed for that perceptive look at the future, and so many parallels that you've drawn out between our histories and our economic development, and indeed a whole set of cultural issues which you brought out very clearly. Whilst this screen is here, can I just draw everyone's attention to that website, which is www.japanuk150.org. It's there because there are going to be events for the next until the end of 2009. That's right. So this is, I mean, here we are in the very first month of Japan UK 150, but there'll be events, and to keep up with those, both regionally and within the UK, and I guess in Japan as well, if you're going to Japan, actually to see some of those would be really useful to everybody. Well, first of all, specific questions to the Consul General. Has anyone got anything they'd like to raise? The gentleman here, the two in the middle here, first of all, and then the third one will be here. Sorry, right down here. Just put your hands up again so the microphone can be correctly directed.
Can I just thank the Consul General for his excellent presentation on future areas of Japan-UK cooperation, and maybe I should say as a representative from central government and a representative from the Foreign Office, I certainly welcome all those areas, and I look forward to working with you and building some of that future cooperation. I'm particularly grateful that you mentioned the life sciences and creative industries, which were the particular area for, I should say, the first half, the UK Japan 2008, which was the programme of events which our British Embassy in Tokyo has been marking since the beginning of the year, and focusing on developing the markets in those areas for the UK in Tokyo. So just thank you. I look forward to working with you in the future.
Should we take this one as well? Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Martin Duesenberg from School of Historical Studies at Newcastle University. I'd like to ask about your idea that the Japanese have possibly become more inward focused in the last 10 years, and that is perhaps arguable, but it seems to me that there's also a British element of inward focus here, which is problematic. And I mean, if we think about the presentations that we've heard this afternoon, it has very much been about Japan trying to open up and discover expertise and cultural ties from Britain, and we haven't heard so much about British people going to Japan, although of course there is the JET program, but that's started and run by the Japanese government. And it seems to me the one problem here is actually, with due respect, with central government categories and ethnic categories in particular, that in America we have the language of Asian American, which means East Asian America, but in Britain the word Asian generally refers to South Asian, to Indian or Pakistani, Bangladeshi. And so when you have ethnic forms for central government or for universities, anyone who's from Japan is forced either to say that they're Chinese or other. And so there's no category which can be East Asian, which is not Chinese. And this, I think, makes it quite difficult for Japanese people in this country, and also difficult, I think, for people to be aware in this country that actually East Asia is more than China. There's also this very important country of Japan. Of course, there's Korea as well. So I wondered if you could comment, and maybe you're not the expert to comment on British government, but any of you three as well, if you'd like to comment a little bit about some of the challenges that we face in this country in getting people to be more aware of Japan and of this very interesting history that we've talked about today.
Yeah, well, I have several comments. It's not really an answer to you, but well, maybe the inward lookingness problem is another similarity between Japan and UK. We have in fact had that dilemma since we opened up our country, whether we belong in Asia or whether we belong in the Western world, or I don't know if such term existed in the 19th century, but in a sense, whether we belong more closer to some European country at that time. This is a problem that we have faced since the 1868 until the present, and it's also a practical dilemma, because in terms of value, we feel very much dearer to many European countries like UK, but some of the basic value, but and also some values we have borrowed from China, but I think the way we have industrialized and adopted new institutions have made us closer to European countries in terms of value. But on the other hand, we are in Asia, and the relation with Asia is vital for us. So the moment we say we are not in Asia, it creates all the kind of difficulty in Asia. So it's we feel very lonely there. We are you have Russia, China, North Korea, South Korea, and Southeast Asia. If you look at all these countries, they are, I think the closest in terms of political institution is South Korea. You have very different countries around. Yet you are belonging to Asia, to that part of the world. And on the other hand, we are in some institution like OECD, or the reason why we attach so much importance in G8 is that we don't belong to many of the big organizations that support each other, the Western country like NATO or EU. We never have applied to EU. But we share many of the problems, and we feel very many of the things that going on there, the things we should do in Japan. So we had that dilemma. There's no solution for that. Of course, if there's a way to encourage in UK perhaps to put Japan in a specific category, I don't think they will be happy to be put in EU, but some make a distinction between Japan and other countries in Asia. Maybe that might help a little bit. But this is where we are. That's the way the life has been, and it's an intrinsic problem for Japan. Sorry, it's not an answer.